7:41, welcome back. 4 people are now facing charges accused of starting a massive fire at Table Rock State Park in South Carolina. Arrest warrants show these 3 teen suspects and an unnamed juvenile failed to put out their lit cigarettes while hiking on the trail. They're now charged with 1 count each of negligently allowing fire to spread to lands or property of another and as a misdemeanor.
The Table Rock fire has burned more than 13,000 acres total in South Carolina and in North Carolina since it started on March 21st. According to the South Carolina Forestry Commission website, it was 91% contained as of last night. At least 1,400 homes and businesses have been evacuated.
Now, if convicted, the suspects in this case could face up to 30 days in jail or a $200 fine. We do want to bring in Chief Legal Analyst Conley Rhodes to talk more about what happens legally in a case like this next. I mean, we're talking about possible jail time, a fine here for, doesn't matter whether they intended to start a fire. I guess it's what actually happened, right, Khalif?
100%. This is not a specific intent crime, and it's not may have jail time, it's must, even though it's not a lot of jail time. If you look at the statute, as Jason talked about, negligently allowing fire to spread to lands or property of another, in South Carolina, it says it must. They must, if convicted, do at least 5 days in jail. Again, not much if you're talking about 14,000 acres. You're talking about 14,000 plus homes being evacuated, but it says must, so there will be some type of jail time. Must do 5 days at a minimum and 30 days as a maximum. So that is the most punishment that can happen. But when you talk about intent, because I've heard a lot of folks talk about, well, this is arson, this is arson. Well, that does require intent. It has to be malicious. It has to be willful. This, on the other hand, does not. It's just clearly, it says it in the wording. It's negligent. Intent is off the table. If you're smoking, if you do something and you knew or should have known that it should have been put out, smoking a cigarette, smoking something else on the trail, at some point, yeah, it needs to be extinguished, and it wasn't.
It said in there that they were released with a $7,500 personal recognizance bond. Is that basically them just saying, we realize what we did, we should have paid more attention, pay the money, and then now it's over? Like, what happens?
No, and so all that's pre-trial, and I mean, that's actually a great question. Well, you have multiple stages with a charge. You have the pre-trial portion where you're still waiting to be, either found guilty, found not guilty, case dismissed. But in that interim, before you actually go to court, before your case progresses through that process, we have this process, and your do right process kicks in as a defendant. Can they hold me? Should they hold me? Do they set some conditions for release? Well, what do those conditions for release look like? Is it a secured bond? Do I have to pay a lot of money to get out? Is it unsecured? Do I have to pay no money and just promise to get there? Is it a release on your own recognizance or a written promise to appear, which is most states have that kind of language that's basically the same thing, saying that I'm going to let you go, you're promising to appear, and if you don't appear, then we as in the state are going to come and get you.
Well, so we know that 4 people have been charged in this. 3 of them, we showed them there. They are teens, but they are adults. But there's a minor involved in this case. So is there still that mandatory serving time for a minor? We don't know how old this person is.
You guys are all hitting home runs. So what I can say is that the juvenile process is extremely different, while the criminal justice system for the adults has 2 components, either rehabilitative portion or this punishment criminal portion where you're trying to punish, deter folks from doing this future crime. Juvenile crimes are specifically more rehabilitative, and so their process will be entirely different. Even charged with the same charge, the juvenile process from the very beginning looks at trying to ensure that a person doesn't, make this stop their life. Like one offense. And so, no, they wouldn't have that mandatory time, but they wouldn't even go through this adult process. So it will look entirely different.
For the adults there, that mandatory minimum, does that mean that a probation before judgment is off the table?
Well, typically you don't have probation before judgment. You'd have some type of, if you wanted to ensure that person would be there, if you had a question that, maybe they had a history of failing to appear, so you may put them on some type of ankle monitor or some type of home confinement.
No, but a PBJ, they can't do that?
Potentially. You could ask for that, but in this situation, I think because of the spotlight, because everyone is talking about it, because of the significant damage, because we're trying to find ways for accountability, I don't think that route is happening. The route that's happening right now is you'll be waiting, you'll be sitting, and then you will have some type of process. There will be a plea at some point. I don't see this going to trial because this isn't something that you could try to fight. But what I can tell you is that at the end of the day, those 3, if convicted, will be doing some type of time and paying some significant fine.
Khalif, quickly, we live in a world where a lot of people will sue just about over anything to try to get their hands on a little extra money. Can any property owners that lost barns or fences or whatever damage that came from this, could they, I don't know, turn around and go, listen, whether it was intent or whether it was innocent. I want to sue the family of these 4 to try to get some money back for what I lost. I mean,
Well,
who helps pay for that if insurance doesn't cover something?
I think that is also another great question. So what I would tell you is that in law school, they tell you always want to try to figure out when you're filing some type of claim to figure out where the big pot is. You don't want to file a claim against someone, spend the resources that it takes to go do discovery, do interrogatories, do depositions. Litigation is expensive. And so if a firm is taking on this case, typically they're doing it where they'll cover the cost and then you get some payout at the end. Well, if I'm suing, random person, most of the time, random person doesn't have the millions to cover what it would take to cover your damages, let alone to cover your attorney fees. And so you really have to see. And most of the time, an attorney will get an investigator and look into these individuals' families. And now if one of them has the resources, has the means, has some type of family that has multiple acres of property, has things that they can connect to, then yes, you will go after them in their family. But then you also have to connect because they're adults. You'd have to connect the culpability to the parents, not just me getting a claim against them, but now how do I connect that claim from the children, I should say, these teens, these adults, to their parents? So then that's also another step. Now, if they were younger, I think you may have another connection because they would still be under the direction of their parents. But these are adults. So even if you get a claim, it's going to be against an 18, 19-year-old teenager that probably doesn't have the multi-million dollars to be able to go and compensate for the loss that you've encountered.
Yeah, it's a lot different than what we've seen with wildfires out in California, where they're suing energy companies for stuff like this.
Because they got the big bank. You're looking for the
Yes.
person that has, or the company that has the big bank, and you're going backwards. It's municipalities, it's big, insurance companies. It's anyone that you can sue, and then it trickles down to the individuals that may or may not have something.
Again, our chief legal analyst, Khalif Rhodes, breaking that all down for us there. The teenagers facing those charges. Khalif, appreciate it.